Hello everyone. Let's meet a versatile personality today, Mr. Vinayak Gogate, an engineer by profession with more than 2 decades of industry experience and with a keen interest in Indology, mythology, and Sanskrit. He holds a master's degree in Indology and a diploma in mythology. He recently completed a diploma in Sanskrit. He has exposure to drama and elocution and has written several scripts of the same. A collection of short stories written by him was published in a book called Saulyanche Ranga. The short stories have received Saptahik Saka, G.A. Kulkarni Katha Spardha, and Tata Motors Kala Sagar Awards. Bharatiya Vichar Sadhana published his book of Indian scripts called Aksharbharat. Let us talk to him and understand his passion for languages and scripts. Welcome to the show, Vinayak.
Yeah, welcome and Jai Hind to everybody.
Jai Hind.
Yeah.
I would like to start by asking you about your book, Aksharbharat. Please tell us about it.
Yeah, so I think, but you will be able to see it in the reverse fashion.
Yes.
This is Aksharbharat.
Okay.
And this has come out of my passion for Indian scripts. This was originally published by Bharatiya Vichar Sadhana in 2016. And just last year, it has been reprinted by Subhasha publication.
Wow.
It contains information about the current 8 Indian languages. Actually, it's not language, 8 Indian scripts. In India, we have about 22 recognized languages by Indian Constitution, but they are written with 11 scripts. And most of us know about Devanagari, Roman, and Urdu, these 3 scripts. Besides that, there are 8 scripts which are spread over India. And geographically, there are 4 in the North India and 4 in the South India. In North India, you got Gujarati, Oriya, Bangla, and Gurumukhi. These are the 4 scripts used in the North India. In South India, it's Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam, and Tamil. So that makes it total 11 scripts which are used in India currently. And the reason for me to write Aksharbharat, though I know quite more scripts, but I limited my scope to only 8 scripts because I wanted people to read this book. And when they move around India, they should not feel that they are alien to this part. I used to always feel going to South India and not understanding anything which is being displayed anywhere. And it so happened that when I was in 8th standard, my father knew Kannada. So he taught me Kannada scripts, though his original idea, my idea was to learn Kannada language, but it's too much a tedious process. And it at least requires 2.5 years to learn any language.
Yes.
So in those days, I did not have that much patience. So I thought it's very simple to learn the script. And after writing this book also, I proudly tell people that you can learn any Indian script within 8 clock hours.
Okay.
The reason is all Indian scripts have the same pattern. And that's the reason, if you know one Indian scripts, learning another Indian script is not at all a problem. And they are all descended from the ancient script called as Brahmi.
Oh, okay.
The Brahmi, it says that it was popularly used by Samrat Ashok in about 3rd century BC. And it is also been said that there are about 22 scripts which were evolved from Brahmi.
Oh, okay.
That starts right from today's Pakistan up to Vietnam. Whatever scripts are being used, they're all variants or they're all developed through Brahmi. So all these 8 scripts which I was talking to you, which has been described in the book called Aksharbharat, they are always descendant of Brahmi. But beside that, if you see Singhal scripts, if you see Thai, Malay, or even the Lao scripts, Indonesian Bahasa, all the scripts have been evolved from Brahmi.
Okay.
Because in ancient world, people really were not very aware about writing, the concept of writing. And when, let's say, Indians started moving around the Eastern Asian part, they first started to understand about Bhasha and script both. It is been said in Sri Lanka that Samrat Ashoka's son Mahendra, Bhikkhu Mahendu, was the originator of Sinhal language and Sinhal script. And he has got a very great respect in Sri Lanka because he taught us how to write, he taught us how to speak. That's the kind of respect people have in Sri Lanka about Bhikkhu Mahendu. Similarly, let's say the Cholas expanded to Indonesia. Then there was a lot of interaction between Nalanda and Indonesia. In fact, it will be very interesting to understand that there was one Chinese traveler, Yi Sing, and he has also written his travelogue. Like you have travelogue written by Fa Hian and Yuan Xuan, and this is the third travelogue. And there he says to people, if you want to go to India, first go to Indonesia, learn Sanskrit, and then enter India. That is what he has written. And he came from the root of Indonesia. While Fa Hian and Yuan Xuan both came from Kazakhstan, Afghanistan, from Pakistan, from that route. But he came from Indonesia. And he stayed in Indonesia for some time, and he devoted his time to learn Sanskrit. And then he came to India. He went to Nalanda, Gaya, Takshashila, all these areas. And he said it was very helpful. So that's how the Indian script, actually script came to India very late. Though the origin of Sanskrit language is as back as 1600 BCE, the script evolved in the 3rd century. It is said that when Ashoka visited Mesopotamia at that point of time, he saw certain epigraphs being written on the rocks. And he was very impressed with those epigraphs. Now, it is not sure whether Ashoka himself had gone or whether it was his emissaries who visited those areas. But they explained to him that there are a lot of things being written on the rock. And in those days, even there was no technology to make idols as well. India started making idols in somewhere around 1st or 2nd century. Till that time, people were using wood for a lot of things. And so he, when he came to know that there is something called as you have to put something on the, print something on the rock. Then it is being said that he evolved the script called as Brahmi. Actually, all these scripts, they don't have their own original name. Somebody called it and it is been termed as Brahmi. As Sanskrit also, the word Sanskrit was used much later than after people started using Sanskrit. Originally, they were only saying it is Bhasha. And the word Sanskrit came much, much later. And when did it come? It came after Paninian Sanskrit syntax. Then he said that when Panini said that, you have to use Sanskrit like this is how you have to arrange words. And then it becomes Sanskrita. That means it was a refined one. That's the word called as Sanskrit. Otherwise, it was a Bhasha. And you will be delighted to know that even in Indonesia, today they call their language as Bahasa. So Bahasa is actually a Bhasha, being said as Bahasa in Indonesia. So this is how the Brahmi. Then Ashoka started putting a lot of edicts, and there are about 30 all edicts which Ashoka written. And they were called as Dharmadnya, or they were religious texts where he said that how you should behave, because he was influenced by Buddhism, and therefore he has put his own impressions. And you'll be delighted to know that. And this is the first time people understood about script and language. Though script was Brahmi, the edicts at various places had different languages. They were all Prakrit languages, because Buddha never wanted to promote Sanskrit, so they were all Prakrit languages. And for example, there was one big edict found in Haryana at Meerut and Dopra. They were in Chaurasani Prakrit. If you see edicts in Vaishali, they'll be in Ardhamagati. And if you see edict in Maharashtra, somewhere in Nalasopara, that will be in Maharashtri Prakrit. Like there was a famous edict at Naneghat near Junnar. That is also in Maharashtra Sanskrit. And in fact, now the Marathi people are fighting for getting a classical language stamp on Marathi based on this epigraph, saying that this is the oldest epigraph in Marathi language, though it was in Maharashtra Prakrit. Thus, they say Marathi language originated from this Maharashtra Prakrit. And that's how they are. It goes back. The origin of Marathi language goes back as first century or just about BC, start of BC or 0 BC, I can say. So Ashoka started using Brahmi, and you'll be very delighted to know that Brahmi had a capability to write Sanskrit into it. It is very, very difficult to write Sanskrit in any kind of script. But Brahmi had that kind of capability.
Okay.
I personally believe when Brahmi was also in use, there were some developments in the Tamil language also, and there were some starting of writing Tamils. Now, very recently, there are some excavations near Madurai, and there they have found some Tamil Brahmi scripts. That means they have seen Brahmi kind of characters, but there is an attempt to write some Tamil words out of it. In fact, when I visited Sri Lanka, also I've seen lot of Brahmi edicts in Sri Lanka itself, in Anuradhapur, which was the old capital of Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Though it was a Brahmi characters, they were trying to write down Sinhal language into that script, because they didn't know the script. Even you'll be surprised to know that in northeastern India, there are a lot of languages. For example, Arunachal Pradesh itself has 108 dialects.
Oh,
like
okay.
Meghalaya has 3 prominent language groups: Garo, Khasi, Jaitia, then Naga, Angami, then Maitei. All these things in northeastern part of India, they did not have a script for a long time. And then when Christian missionaries came to those areas during British rule, they started using Roman script for writing Garo, writing Angami, writing Naga, all those languages. In fact, I personally had seen one Khasi book written in Roman script, but language was Khasi. Somebody came from Meghalaya and showed me that. And of course, they had made certain small changes to the Roman script so that it can become suitable for Khasi language. So it was the first governor of Arunachal Pradesh, Mata Prasadji. He was a Hindi scholar, and he did a great thing that he started giving Devanagari scripts to Arunachali languages. As I told you, there were 108 dialects, but there are prominently 5 language groups. And you'll be surprised to know that if you go to Arunachal today, people speak very fluent Hindi. And that's the reason it goes back to Mata Prasadji, was a Hindi scholar, started using the Devanagari scripts for all those languages. So this is how the scripts started flowing in the various parts of India. When it came to Tamil Nadu, they found it difficult that Tamil script is not capable of writing Sanskrit literature. And there they evolved a script called as Grantha. So again, the name of the script was not Grantha. It was a script which was suitable to write, and it had Tamil characters plus some additional characters. It was a complete script as you see in Brahmi. And they started using that script to write various Sanskrit Granthas. So it was called as Grantha script. And today's modern Malayalam script is completely based on Grantha script.
Okay.
In Sanskrit, people talk about various plays written by Mahakavi Bhas. Until 1915, they were not found. People only knew the name Bhas, but they didn't know his works. In 1915, a scholar called as T. Ganapati Shastri, when he was working with some Chakyars, the Chakyars are the people who perform Kudiyattam. And Kudiyattam is a performance of Sanskrit dramas. There he found those manuscripts. Those manuscripts were written in Grantha script, but language was Sanskrit.
Okay.
And it was a step ahead from Grantha. It was in Malayalam. And this language was Sanskrit. And there he found all the 13 great works of Bhasa, like Swapna Vasavadatta, Abhimarika, all these scripts were found with chakyas.
Oh.
And this is how, you have to make a distinction between script and the languages.
Yes.
And the greatness of the Brahmi script, it is now called as Abugida, or it is called as alpha syllabic. It was based on pronunciation. So this is the highest script even today in the world, where you are able to write as much as possible the way you are pronouncing anything.
Okay.
Very recently, that means in the medieval area, a and o, they were added to the Devanagari script, and they were almost now added in almost all Indian scripts as well. But these were the recent additions. Otherwise, there was no addition to the script. And that was a greatness. Like, you will be surprised to know that when Barack Obama became president of US, the Chinese people have made a new kanji known as Barack Obama. Because there a character itself it is Barack and it is Obama. That character doesn't have any other meaning or any other pronunciation. That's not the case with this Abugida script of India or Brahmi, where you are able to write whatever you are able to pronounce, whatever you are able to speak. That was a greatness. And this greatness has been carried forward in all current Indian scripts. And whatever I have written Aksharbharat about is not about these 8 scripts like Gujarati, Bangla, Gurmukhi, Oriya, Malayalam, Telugu, Tamil and Kannada. There you are able to write down, you are able to first of all write Sanskrit in all these scripts, except Gurumukhi. Everywhere else you are able to write Sanskrit. Gurumukhi was evolved from a script called as Sharada. It is one of the recent scripts. This script people started using in 15th century. Guru Angad Dev of the Sikh Guru Angad Dev, he started using Gurumukhi in 15th century. Before that, it was a Sharada script, which was originally in Kashmir, and Kalnana's Rajatarangini is written in Sharada script. In fact, when I was reading autobiography of Advani ji, he said that though they were speaking Sindhi, his grandmother used to write letters in Gurumukhi script. And so he asked his grandmother, what is this script? She says, that is Gurumukhi. But he said, then later on he found out that in Gurumukhi some other language is also being spoken. Then he found that Punjabi is also spoken, but they are using Gurumukhi. Then she said, we don't have a script. And therefore we started using the nearest script available in Punjab. That was Gurumukhi. And they started using Gurumukhi script for writing Sindhi language. Later on, some Muslim Sindhi people have evolved a Sindhi script based on Farsi, and they started using it for Sindhi language. But they have to make a lot of changes into the basic Farsi script. You will be amused to understand that when Urdu script came into being, they added 4 letters into original Farsi script. Because otherwise it was not possible to write down Indian languages. Urdu is basically there's a lot of Hindi into it. They were not able to write it down. Therefore, they have to introduce 4 more characters into original Farsi script.
And so by Farsi, do you mean Persian? Farsi?
Yeah. The original, when I have made a basic course, they said, no, you have to call it as a Farsi. They are the original. Even before Arabic, Farsi was existing. And in fact, it goes back to the days of cuneiforms. When cuneiforms were being used in Mesopotamia and Babylonia, there they found some origins of the Farsi language and Farsi script. In fact, I was told that Zend Avesta, whatever is the religious text of the Parsis, what we say, Zend Avesta, they had their own script as Zend. And they had some link to cuneiforms. And then they found that the construction of Zend Avesta is completely based on Rig Veda. And there are a lot of similarities. Though Zend Avesta is not completely available, there are only few chapters available currently. But they found there is a lot of similarity. And Zarathustra himself was saying that I am an Atharva Vedi person. He used to call himself as Atharvan. And that's what he's written in Zend Avesta. So that's how, that was a lot of thing. Script is very, very important for history because current study of history says a historical period of any country starts the day you start reading something which has been written. When you have got something from written records.
Okay.
So now I have, after doing Indology, I don't agree completely with this because our original script was the Indus script, which was evolved in BC 2200. And it is contemporary to the Egyptian script. But people could read Egyptian because they found Rosetta Stone. It was a bilingual text which they could found. But till today, there is no bilingual text being found with the Indus script. So it is not been deciphered. And lot of Western scholars, they wanted to always say that, Western supremacy, that we were the first people, like that kind of thing. They never accepted that it is a script. It was as late as till 2005. They said it is not a script. It's some kind of a trademark. So it was great efforts by a scientist in Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Mayank Vahia. He again proved with lot of modern linguistic studies, this is a script. It has about 504 characters, which is being found. And he did some frequency analysis. He did some construction analysis. He used computer a lot. That means he put two symbols and then asked computer, say, based on whatever corpus you have, now you tell me what will be the third character. And computer was able to give the third character as it was seen in some Indus seal.
Oh, okay.
That's how he said there is a logic and there was some writing system, though we are not able to read it. But don't say it is not a script. It was a script. And there were two scholars who did put lot of efforts. One was Mr. Kalyan Raman, who could read Sanskrit out of those characters. And there was another scholar, E. Mahadevan from Tamil Nadu. He could read Tamil out of it. And if you see it, now I did a recent workshop on Indus Valley civilization. They said there have been 1,500 attempts for deciphering the Indus script. But none of them is still conclusive. That means, they also found that there is a pattern in Indus script. That is, whatever seals you found in Haryana, whatever you find in Gujarat, there is a difference. So they are using same characters, but probably their application was different. And therefore, they are not, whatever you are able to, you decide some deciphering logic in seals in Haryana, but that same logic was not useful in Gujarat. The same logic was not useful in Mohenjo-daro. That's why there is still not a very conclusive proof about deciphering. That was our original script. And therefore, India's historic period must start with Indus Valley civilization and not with Ashoka 300 BCE. That's what I wanted to tell people who are, oriented towards languages and script. The Indian historic period, a lot of people say it starts with 3rd BCE. It is not correct. We must fight saying it started as long with Egyptians. Because today, Egyptian culture is supposed to be the oldest one because they were able to read the Egyptian hieroglyphs because of Rosetta Stone, which was found in much, much later period. I'm hopeful some kind of bilingual thing will definitely be found with a lot of new research which is happening in the Indus Valley civilization. Sometime we'll be able to do it. Okay, so now come back to the modern I think when Brahmi evolved, there was one more script evolved which is called as Kharoshti. It was that is interesting thing. Brahmi and all Brahmi based scripts are written from left to right. But Kharoshti was a script which was written from right to left.
I see.
And this was prominently used by Kanishka. And all the Kushan kings used this Kharoshti script. And therefore you find lot of epigraphs, few epigraphs in Afghanistan today. And the biggest one called at a place called as Rawat, where it is basically a ghat section where the people found there was one stone lying there and people were sitting on that. One researcher just started to see what is there beneath the stone, and when he opened, he found there was an epigraph. That was written in Kharoshti. But Kharoshthi died down along with Kanishka somewhere around 2nd or 3rd century. But you'll be astonished to know Kharoshthi was being practiced in China till 8th century. People found certain written text in Kharoshthi in China near Dungyuan caves.
Okay.
That means something
really amazing.
Totally vanished from India, but they were being. I think the reason was because of the pilgrimage, the big pilgrims which used to come from China to India, Buddhist pilgrims. And Yuan Chuan himself had translated about 56 Buddhist texts into Chinese. Okay. Because both Fa Hian and Yuan Chuan came for looking for a pure form of Buddhism to India. That was their main task. So they have created a lot of Buddhist texts, went back to China, translated them into China. I was really surprised that all these Buddhist texts has been written in Pali and Ardhamagadi.
Right.
And then they translated that into China. In Chinese languages, which today also I was told only 10 or 15 Chinese people are able to read the old Chinese language.
Okay.
They cannot read or decipher old Chinese language. Very few people are able to do that. So, but Kharoshthi was there, and I feel very glad. This has traveled to some other area. In fact, you'll be surprised to know there is one place called as Kucha in China. If you even see Wikipedia, they said its old name was Kashi. There was a Pamir river, its old name was Sita. That's what people have found certain contexts in those areas. Anyway, one great thing with Indian language, the variety of Indian languages and script is, you are able to see all the scripts into any Indian currency. This is the only unique currency in the world where the value of the currency is written in various languages and various script into your currency. Even if you take a 10 rupee note, you will find that a 10 rupee has been written in about 14 languages and they have used 11 scripts. How it becomes smaller number of scripts? Because Sanskrit, Nepali, Marathi, they are all used, and Hindi, they are all using Devanagari. And Kashmiri and Urdu, they are using Urdu script. Then there is a Roman script. And then you find a lot of other scripts. Now, after knowing all these scripts, I did a small study of all these scripts. And I was trying to find out, let us find out how many similarities are there in the scripts.
Okay.
I found there are about 52 similarities in the scripts.
Oh, okay.
The basic structure of all scripts is same.
Okay.
But if you see, almost many characters have been borrowed from Brahmi. Of course, they were little turned into, for example, if you see the Devanagari letter S, it is a 90-degree turn of whatever is written in Brahmi.
Okay.
You can very easily see. And in between there was a WhatsApp message, saying that which is the most common letter used in all Indian languages. And they say it is DH. That's not true. It is TH, which is being same. You will be surprised. Today in Oriya and Malayalam, they use the same character for the word th. And same was used in Brahmi in 3rd century BC.
Okay.
So that's how you can see there is a flow, and therefore there is the integrity of all the scripts. And I'm not learned those many languages, but I'm sure there will be some integrity of languages also up to certain area. I found that there are 3 pairs in India, 3 pairs of 3 scripts, which are very, very rare. For example, Gujarati and Marathi. They are very near scripts. The person who knows Gujarati can read Marathi to a certain extent.
Okay.
Similarly, Telugu and Kannada, they are similar. In fact, when I learned first Kannada from my father, and that time Aksharbharat was one of the famous movies.
Yes.
When I went to see Aksharbharat, I could see I was able to read certain things out of it. And then when later on I studied, then I found out, yes, characters are same. Only thing, diacritic marks are different. And similarly is the Assami and Bangla. Ashtami and Bangla, there is only difference of 2 characters. Otherwise, entire script is same. And you can also find out that there is some influence of Bangla script on the Gorkhali language, or Gorkhali script or Nevari, it is called as, whatever is being used in Nepal. And also certain character which are used by Tibetan languages or Tibetan group. There is a lot of influence of Bangla script.
Oh, okay.
That's how all these scripts are, I have found they are quite interrelated. And therefore, if you know one Indian script, as I told, I can challenge you, you'll be able to learn another script within 8 clock hours.
Wow.
I did certain hobby clubs in some schools. It was 8 and 9 standard schools. I was surprised that these fellows are able to learn Kannada and Malayalam within 8 clock hours.
Oh.
And the last day, they gave me greeting cards written in those scripts with language Marathi.
That is the best gift. Yes.
I got a very nice gift. And you know, there are 40 students in those class. I was not sure whether I'll be able to even control them. But once they started looking at some different characters, they really used to keep quite quiet and do a lot of things, started writing each other's name and other things. In fact, I personally had benefited a lot when I was in college days. I used to write my diary in various scripts. The language used to be Marathi. And I never read my diary because I knew nobody is able to read it. Even if a Malayalam person reads it, he won't understand the language.
Okay.
Because it used to be in Marathi. But script used to be in Malayalam. So similarly, you know, they found in the Bhasa text that the language was Sanskrit and the script was Malayalam. Like that, it is possible to interchange and even understand each other's languages very easily for all Indian people. At least if you must know at least one Indian script. Then learning another script is very, very simple. Very simple.
Wow, that is really interesting. And when school children are doing it, they will definitely keep learning further.
Yeah. In fact, now I'm teaching. There is some. For the MA Marathi course in Ferguson College.
Okay.
They have some inter-language related courses or something. Last 2 years, I am teaching their Telugu and Kannada. And I told them that now don't restrict. Let people select whatever script they want to learn. I will teach them. Give me only 8 hours. That's sufficient. And they are able to do it. They have written our national anthem into all the scripts.
Okay.
In fact, there was one student who made a very beautiful decoration using all Kannada characters. Gifted to me. It was very nice chakra. So it's simple. It's not at all different. In fact, a lot of people will say that South Indian scripts, they are very difficult. They're not at all difficult.
Okay.
The thing is that they are written in different ways. But if you know this is being called as K, this is being called as P, very easily you are able to transcript one from another. In fact, you know how I learned my script when I was in 8 and 9 standards. That whole thing I owe to Chavan Prash, Kasavcha, Bachchar, Agarbatti and Barnaul.
Okay.
I use descriptions and the word Barnaul is written in all scripts.
Yes.
Then I used to do correlation to find out the character for that particular pronunciation.
Okay.
And with these 3 things, I was able, and with some help from my father, I could understand Kannada, I could understand Telugu, because then I found out there are different diacritic marks in Telugu. But basic script. And there was a great king called as Krishna Deva Raya. Krishna Deva himself was a scholar in Kannada and Telugu both.
Okay.
He has written books in both languages. And he patronized both the languages.
Okay.
Because if you see, his kingdom was spread partly in Karnataka and partly in Andhra. But he had, some scholars like Tenali Raman. He was a Telugu person. Plus, one of his wife was from Mysore. So she used to speak Kannada. In fact, it is also interesting that Krishna Deva Raya's second wife was sister of his first wife.
Okay.
And the sister was so impressed about his poetic understanding. She fell in love with him and then they married just because of his poems written in Kannada. So she patronized both these languages. And therefore, it is very simple. Though languages people are not able to understand. When I went to see Aksharbharat with my father, then there is some discussions in Kannada because somebody comes to the Shankar Shastri saying that, we want your program in Mysore. They discuss in Tamil, in Kannada. So my father could understand that much part of the whole movie because everything else was in Telugu. Okay, for me everything was alien. Even though that movie is really great, you are able to understand. But there is a difference in the languages. But script-wise, there is no difference. Very easily you are able to learn one script into another. My wife never believed that I am really able to read scripts. When we had gone to Tamil Nadu, we wanted to go to Tanjavur from Tiruchirappalli.
Okay.
And I used to read all the boards onto the buses. So I used to tell her, no, this doesn't go to Tanjavur, it goes to some Pudukottai or some other places. It so happened that there was some other family who also wanted to go to Tanjavur. So she talked to them saying that, we will also come with you because we don't know anything earlier, but please guide us to go to Tanjavur. This family boarded a bus and we also boarded. I told her, this doesn't go to Tanjavur. There's nowhere it is in Tanjavur. But she said, what do you understand? These are the people who local Tamils. So let's go with them. And the bus went for some kilometers and then the conductor came for, ticketing. Then it seems he spoke to the person about the family, said that, don't you understand, this doesn't go to Tanjavur, please get down. And we really had to got down from the bus.
Oh.
My old wife, I was telling you that it doesn't go to Tanjavur. It's overwritten Tanjavur on this thing. We have boarded a wrong bus. Okay. And even I was surprised, even the literate Tamil family also made the same mistake and boarded a wrong bus.
Okay.
That's how it was very helpful to me. And now whenever I travel in India, I don't find any difficulty. Typically, Indians, languages also there is a lot of similarity. In Assamese Bangla, I read e-newspapers and I understand 70% of it.
Okay, that's a lot.
Just by reading, you are able to understand 70% of it. There is some photograph, then they write down this place like Jalpaiguri. You are able to find out, there is some accident taken place and some people died. Able to make out something out of it. Therefore, I feel now in the modern era, if you are able to learn script, then just by reading e-newspaper, you'll be able to even pick up the language. Okay. Or you just keep a pocket dictionary with you. If you really wanted to go into literally works, then it will be able to be helpful. I was very surprised that I taught Kannada script to one person who said, I always travel from Pune to Bangalore. But after crossing Belgaum, I'm not able to read anything. And a lot of time, I'm missing my roads. So that's why I wanted to learn Kannada script. And then he learned Kannada from me. And after some time, he called me from one place called as Yamkan Mardi. And he said, sir, today is the first time I could read Kannada Yamkan Mardi because I could learn Kannada from him. And now I'm very confident that when I'm moving on the roads, I'm able to read my milestones and I'm not able to make mistakes. When I had gone to Kerala for my family visit, so the driver, when he understood that I'm able to read all the placards which is displayed, he thought that I may be able to understand Malayalam. So, I could make out that his tone changed. And once we were going to one particular resort, and I think that fellow has missed the road. I completely kept on telling him, we are not going to Trichur, we are going to some other place. I was able to read those milestones. Then he stopped at one place, inquired with some person, and he said, no, you have to go back. This is not the road going to that place. Please take another road, which will lead to that place. So that's how I could find it is really helpful to be Indian. In fact, this particular book, Aksharbharat, which I showed you, there are 8 scripts. Okay. And there was an inquiry from the French department of Pune University. They said we wanted to give some gift to our French people, and you don't have anything to tell them how many languages are there in India. At least it tells me at least there are 8 languages. This is where they are spoken. This is how there are characters. So they wanted to give my book. It's in Marathi. It's not translated. But they gave this book to their French visitors because we could satisfy them that this is the evidence what you want about the languages. These are the prominent main languages which is being spoken, main 8 languages which is being spoken in India.
My next question is, can we decipher culture with the study of scripts? So, I mean, you have answered a little bit, but I would like to know more.
Very difficult to decipher culture because the next step is you must know the language. And deciphering culture, if you are able to, typically, if you are able to decode the folk culture or folk songs, they will be able to very helpful to you.
Okay.
Now let me tell you, when I talk about folk, there is a language spoken as Tulu in Udupi area.
Okay.
And Tulu, they themselves have invented their own script.
Huh.
It's a combination of Malayalam and Kannada.
I see.
So whenever there is the Yakshagana program in Pune, I'm able to read it because I know both the scripts.
Okay.
A Kannada guy cannot read Tulu. And a Malayalam guy also cannot read Tulu because there are some characters from Kannada, some characters from Malayalam.
I see.
And you know, Udupi is adjoining Kerala. Therefore, it has an influence of Kannada and Malayalam both. But unless you know both the scripts, you are not able to even read anything written in Tulu.
Yes. Okay, great.
That's it. So script will be able to help, will be helpful to you to read certain things, but then you have to use a dictionary to find out the meaning. And unless you know the meaning, you will not be able to, study culture across.
Correct. Yeah, that's great. And Vinayak, I think the study of Sanskrit, Indology and mythology, it must have helped you to understand Indian scripts even more.
No. But I finished all my Indian scripts when I was in 10th standard.
Okay, way back.
I just kept my hobby like this. When I went to motors, I found a lot of people from other part of India. With help of them, I refined my understanding about the language, about the scripts. It helped me a lot. And I understood that, whatever I did, some assumptions were wrong. And probably by 91, 92, I was able to read all Indian scripts. Just because of help from those my friends.
Okay.
Today, I know about 17 scripts because I did, later on, I got enthusiasm to learn another scripts.
Okay.
So I used to, ask people. I found out that I learned Bangla when one of my friends' uncle brought me the first standard book, Bangla book for me.
Okay. Okay.
It was back in 83, 84. Rarely people used to travel. And with that book, I could very easily learn Bangla script. Then I started telling my friends, when you go back, please bring me first standard books. And with those first standard books, now I learned the Russian script also.
Oh, okay.
Just by those books, and they are very helpful.
Yeah.
So when I wrote Aksharbharat, I found that there is no one book which is able to give you information about all Indian scripts. For example, Delhi Gurudwara had published a book about how to read and write Gurumukhi.
Okay.
But it is limited to Gurumukhi. Unless you know that, Bangla Sahib Gurudwara gives those kind of books free of cost. You won't be able to know. So there has to be some kind of a book where you are able to collect information about all this together. It was a very nice incident. I had been to Swarna Mandir and one of my Sikh friend took me to the Granthi.
Okay.
And then I give some donation. So he gave me those bill books saying that you write in your name and address, and so that we'll be able to send you prasadi. So my name and address in Gurmukhi. So he was so thrilled, so happy that fellow offered me lassi, and my friend told me it's very, very rare to get a lassi from this Granthi. He is very crooked. He generally doesn't get along with people, but just because he was so happy to know that a Marathi guy is able to read Gurumukhi, write in Gurumukhi. He was very happy. And when I was working on a project from Tata Motors, Punjab, we used to do a lot of survey between Amritsar and Firozpur Road. And I used to go with the local team. So one of my friends used to tell, Gupte Sahab, you are able to read and write Gurumukhi much better from anybody in my team. Because in those areas also, people have stopped learning from the local languages. In fact, there was one Sikh person in my group, and then when I was talking to him about Gurmukhi, he said, "Sorry, sir, I've been born and brought up in Jabalpur, so I don't know about Gurmukhi. But you know much better than me about Gurmukhi, because you have learned. But I never learned in Gurmukhi. I learned in Hindi all the time. So that's how it is happening in my part of India."
Yes, that's true. And are you planning to learn more international scripts? Like you mentioned Russian just now.
Yeah.
So, will you be coming out with a book with that, or including in this book?
I found that finding a good publisher is much difficult than writing a book. In Aksharbharat also, I did the first edition from one publisher and second reprint from another publisher. It's very difficult because publisher doesn't see a value into this book. And one of my persons said, "See, unless you try to put it for some syllabus, people won't buy it." I said, "Look, sorry, this is not my business. See, my idea is to tell people whatever I know, and somewhere it needs to be documented. That's what I learned in Indology. Documentation is very important. Let's document something. See, how does a person know?" And that's why I really appreciate the French department of Pune University. They wanted to give some gift to the French visitor who want to understand about Indian languages. They didn't have anything to present him. They have separate books. There will be a book saying that you learn Bangla. There will be separate books to learn Malayalam. There will be separate book to learn Gujarati. But there is nothing like brought together. And somebody just want to have glance. What are all these things? There no such book was available. And then this book is readily available for them, and they said they were very happy because their interest was quite limited to what you have written in the book. They're happy with that. So that's it. That's the reason I wrote this book. And it so happened that Anand Katikar read that book, and then he invited me to Tanjavur Tamil University. And they were running a course of teaching Marathi to Tamil people. They were all postgraduate students. They said, it will be better that you can teach them Marathi using Tamil. Normally, I am teaching scripts from based on the Devanagari script to others because they know Devanagari. But in Tanjavur, I taught them Devanagari using Tamil script. That was a different experience because Tamil had very few characters. And it's very difficult to teach somebody Devanagari from Tamil. Tamil script has only 14 characters. They have done 2 L and 2 N. And they have got 2 R also. That's not there into the Devanagari script. So unless you know both the scripts, you won't be able to tell person a difference. For example, the word Tiruvalluvar has 2 different L. So it will be simple to write in Devanagari because we have only one L. But that's not there in Tamil. They use 2 different L for 2 different pronunciations. So it was very challenging for me. But I think those people were able to, on the last day, they were able to write down their own names and their addresses. On last day, it was only 4-day workshop. And 4 days, every day 1 clock hour, I was able to, give them some glimpse of Devanagari script.
This is fantastic. But now with this technology, it is helping the proliferation of Indian scripts.
No. The problem is the difference between the Murdhanya and Danta Talavya words like T and T. Roman script is not able to make a difference. Almost all, wherever you find this transcription help, they're all based on Roman script. And therefore, they are not able to make a difference. So whenever you transcript, they give you some options. And then say you choose correct options. Immediately, they give you a drop down. And then unless you are not able to read it, you are not able to pick up the correct drop down. So you are not able to make a difference between L and L. You cannot make a difference between T, Th, D, D, No and T, Th, D, D, No. You cannot make a difference. You only get a drop down out of it. But now there is a website called as Aksharbharat, where they are able to transcript Indian script into Indian script.
I see.
That's a good thing. And there you are able to transcript from any Indian script to Brahmi, from any Indian script to Kharoshti, any Indian script to Grantha, Sharada, all Indian scripts, script to script transcription is possible with that Aksharbharat website. You can visit there. It's a good thing.
Sure.
Very good attempt somebody has made it.
Wow, that's really nice.
Yeah.
And Vinayak, if someone wants to buy this book, Aksharbharat, so where is it available for purchase? Or
currently,
is it available online?
it's only with me.
Okay.
So if they can contact me and send me their address, I will just send them by speed post or courier, whatever is.
Okay. So can you just spell out your email ID so people can contact you?
Yeah. This is Vinayak Gogate at gmail.com. Vinayak Gogate. Continuous. There is no break in between. @gmail.com.
Okay, great. And I really hope that you get a publisher very soon for your next book.
Yeah, because there was an inquiry from Symbiosis College of Fine Arts that they wanted the English version of this book. I said it's not available. If you tell me a publisher, my translation is ready. Anytime I can publish this book into English. And probably that will be very helpful to overseas people also.
Yes.
But there I have added an additional chapter, but about giving the information about the basic Devanagari script.
Okay.
So once you understand Devanagari, then you are able to understand other scripts also. Whenever I say K, you'll be able to make out how that K is written in Kannada or in Malayalam or in Gurmukhi. So for that, I have added additional chapter about information about Indian scripts and how these 50 consonants have been derived. And that chapter I have added into the English version. It's ready with me. I'm just waiting for publication.
Yes. Great. It was a wonderful conversation.
Great.
And thank you for joining us.
Okay. I hope you have all enjoyed all these things.
Definitely. And I'm sure people will start learning scripts.
Yeah,
from this
they should learn. It's very simple. I'm telling you, it's very simple.
Okay.
But I was telling somebody that if you want to learn all Indian scripts, you will be able to finish at that in 4 months. If you don't have time, let's take 1 year. It's okay. You're able to learn all Indian scripts. It's not difficult.
Great. So have a great day and best wishes for your future plans.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot for inviting me and giving me opportunity to express myself about Indian scripts.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.